Hello, my name is Mrs. Chalmers. Welcome to our numeracy strategy of the day. Here in Inverclyde, we use various strategies to help us calculate addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. We use these strategies from Primary 3 to Primary 7 and beyond. Being able to add, subtract, multiply and divide in different ways is a really useful skill to have. Today, we will focus on the process of addition, and the strategy we will use is compensating. Our learning intention for today is to use pictorial representations and abstract thinking to solve addition tasks. Remember, abstract thinking is just number sense. It's about knowing how numbers are made. Our success criteria are to show, draw and describe how to solve an addition problem using the compensating strategy, and then to apply that strategy to other problems. Have you got your pencil and paper ready? If you need to pause the video, you can do that now to get organised. Here is our first calculation, 63 add on 18. How would you solve this calculation? Pause the video and have a go. Maybe you use the counting on strategy. Maybe you use the bridging strategy. But today, remember, we're focusing on the strategy of compensating. Instead of adding on 18, I'm going to add on 20. It's a bit more than 18, but it's a much easier calculation. When I add on 20, I reach 83. But since I've added on too much, I need to do something at the end. I need to take off 2 because I've actually added on 2 more than I should have, and that makes me get to the number 81. This is called the compensating strategy. Here is another way to look at that problem, 63 add on 18. This time we're going to look at the 100 square to see it visually. We can see that the star is on the number 63. If I add on 2 tens or 20, you can see that I have reached 83. And then I need to go back 2 more steps to get to 81. I added on 20 and then I took off 2 to help me get to my answer of 81. Here's a trickier one. Pause the video and see if you can have a go remembering to use the compensating strategy. Come back and we'll share what we've done. The sum this time is 345 add on 39. And the first thing you have to do is think, what might I do instead of adding on 39? Remember, the compensating strategy is really useful for adding numbers that end in a 1, 2, 8 or 9. That is, numbers that are very close to a multiple of 10. So, instead of adding on 39, what do you think I would add on? It's much easier to add on 40, isn't it, than to add on 39. I know that 345 add on 40 is 385. I also know that I've added on too much. I've added on 1 more than I should have. So I have to remember to take 1 off at the end. So 385 take off 1 gets me to 384. Did you get 345 add on 39 was 384? Maybe you used a different strategy, but remember today we're focusing on compensation. Let's have a look at the same sum another way. 345 add on 39. We first of all added on 40 and took away 1. to give us the answer 384. But what if I round up the 39 to 40 and instead of taking away 1 at the other end, I take it away from 345 to make 344? Can you see that I still reach the same answer of 384? 345 add on 39 is exactly the same as 344 add on 40. This is another way to use the compensating strategy. When doing the compensating strategy, it's very useful to know how to round numbers to the nearest 10, because adding tens numbers can be easier to do in our heads. Let's have a look at this sum. 514 add on 237. Can you think what 237 would be rounded up to? What is its nearest tens number? It's 240. If I add on 240, it means I've added on too much and I need to take something back off again at the end. How much would I have to take off at the end? 514 add on 240 brings me to 754, and then I need to remember to take off 3 more to get me to 751. The other way to do this is to take off 3 from the beginning. So instead of 514, if I take off 3 from 514, I get 511, and then I can add on my 240, which will still give me an answer of 751. Maybe you could even round it down. If you took off 4 to round it down to 510, instead of adding on 237, can you think how much more we would need to add on to this number? We've made it 4 less, so now we have to add on 4 more at this other side. We need to add on 241, because 241 is 4 more than 237. What do you think the answer would be? You're right, it's 751. Look at all the different ways we get to the same answer. You have to figure out which one works best for you and which one is efficient. It's now your turn to try out some addition problems using the compensating strategy. Start with the first column, but if you find that too easy, move on to the next column. Pause the video while you complete the task. When you have finished, you can share your work with your teacher. You will also find another activity and a link to an online game to try and to practice your addition. I hope you have lots of fun. In this activity, you will be able to practice your rounding. That's a really useful thing to be able to do for the compensating strategy. To use this activity, you need 0 to 9 cards. You can make these out of paper or the back of a cereal packet and face them down after they've been shuffled. Choose 3 lots of 3 cards to create 3 2-digit numbers or 3 3-digit numbers and then write them down. For example, I might pick a 3 and a 4 and an 8, which gives me the number 348. In my second set of numbers, I might pick a 6, a 7 and a 1 to make the number 671. And then I might have a 2, a 5 and a 9 to give me 259. I take each one of these numbers and I round them to the nearest 10. 348 would get rounded to 350. 671 would get rounded to 670, and 259 would get rounded to 260. I would write these rounded amounts down and I would try to add them to find a total. We could use our counting on strategy, Or we could use a calculator to check and see what our total is. Then we could work out the correct answer when we add 348, 671 and 259 together. And your final task is, what is the difference between the two numbers? What kind of sum would you need to do to work that out? I hope you can solve this one. Here is a link to an online website where you will be able to play lots of different games to practice your addition. After you've played a few games, don't forget to share the best ones with your friends. And don't forget to ask them which ones they would recommend also. Good luck!